Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Halloween for those of you guys who are still trick-or-treating or whatever the hell you're doing at this age. I'm sure most of you guys are our age, and there's a very few that are younger. But if you're, I'm curious, how many of you guys are going to go out there and try to get candy tonight? How many? Now, you're probably going to be going around with your kids or your grandkids or whatever, but we're not. We're going to be after the show, we're going to go. We've got tickets to a movie, and this is the way we kind of roll. That's how we handle Halloween. So, however you do it, happy Halloween to you, and hopefully you guys have already heard the announcement. I put a video out on this that I thought was very important. It was on Wednesday, I believe. And that is the changes that eBay has decided to make with promoted listings. And I'm going to go over those with you if you didn't watch the video. But also, the question is, how are you going to handle it? So it's one thing to identify there's a problem. There's a potential problem. Now, of course, the good news is eBay didn't just spring this on us. You have about, what, two full months, a little more than 2 months to figure out a strategy on how you're going to take on these extra fees and figure all that out. And that's the 13th of January when this goes into effect. And we'll kind of go into this on your birthday. Happy birthday, Jenna. This is for you.
Yeah, thanks.
So we're going to go over that and try to just come up with solutions, because it's one thing to complain about it. It's another thing altogether to figure out a solution. Now, you guys might be wondering, why in the hell are you wearing an eBay shirt? I just, look, I think this is a comfortable shirt. I got to tell you.
It's perfect for working in the garage.
Yeah, it's a comfortable shirt. Look, guys, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong here with these videos and these live streams. I am not anti-eBay. I want more than anything to see eBay succeed because this is the majority of our livelihood comes from eBay, not from YouTube videos, not from all the side things that we were doing up until like the spring. Really, this is where it is for us. And many might say, well, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. I mean, we do a little cross-listing, not enough. We need to do more of that. And I think people should consider cross-listing, regardless of the tool you use. We use Treecat, and to get your items over into front of more people that may not even think about eBay. So there's strategies to be had to kind of supplement this. And look, we're not talking life-changing dollar values here either with the increased fees. We're talking it's going to be annoying. You got to kind of treat it no differently than additional fees that you're going to pay every 6 months, it seems, with USPS for increased postage. Except the fact that it's really going to be hard. Like the retail sector, you can pass on these additional costs to your buyer. But with eBay and online selling, it's kind of different because you still have to stay within the market, which is what the item sells for generally. You can't just say, my fees are going up, so therefore my price is going up, because you could price yourself out of the market and someone will just go buy it somewhere else. Unless every seller within your category is doing that, then you're going to be kind of stuck with whatever the market dictates for your item. So let's get to the nitty gritty as to what the heck I'm talking about. Let me get to this screen here so that we can get started. Now, again, thank you to the excellent work of Liz Morton at valueaddedresource.net. Go check that out daily for your daily updates on eBay and anything reselling. But here is the article that she put out a few days ago. It was updated today. eBay promoted listings ad attribution changes coming to U.S. and Canada in 2026, specifically January 13th of 2026. eBay is making major changes to promoted listings general cost per sale ad attribution for the U.S. and Canada in 2026, massively expanding the number of sales which will collect ad fees as revenue generating desperation grows. Now, real quick, currently, I would say maybe 60-ish%. This is kind of just off of our data. 65% of sales of our promoted listing sales end up with a promoted listing fee. The other 35% or whatever it is would be just in general, I guess they're clicking on the sort feature that we talked about a couple lives ago, where the best match, and maybe they want to sort it by the lowest, to the highest. And all those listings show up as organic, right? So they click into that organic listing and there's no fee associated with it. But that's kind of why you still see the fact that, I promote all my items and some of them aren't showing a promoted listing fee. That's because some are finding it organically that way versus through your sponsored ad. So what's going to happen though, and we're going to get to this right here, if someone clicks onto your sponsored ad for that item, then it doesn't matter if they find your item organically like that. 30 days from that click, even if that person doesn't buy it, be a totally different person clicking in to buy your item, they're going to be charged that fee, even if they find it organically. Okay.
What if
so
they end in delist to relist?
Well, here's the argument. We'll get to that in a second. Save that question here. Let's get to this. While eBay has not yet made a public announcement about the changes, the policy change for promoted listings ad attribution has been updated to show the new attribution model. So the policy is actually been updated. You see this here starting January 13, 2026. So it says the ad fee is charged when a buyer purchases the promoted item from the general ad that any buyer clicked on the most recent 30 days. So again, the way this new policy works is if somebody clicks on your item, right, clicks on your sponsored ad, they don't buy it, it automatically right then and there activates a 30-day window that any buyer that comes in, whether it's through an organic means or through a sponsored listing, I mean, they're going to go through the sponsored, it's going to be charged that anyway. But let's say they find it organically, they're going to be charged a promoted listing fee because of that initial click that this person had nothing to do with. And, the question also is what happens, what's to stop someone from going in there and just screwing with you and clicking all your items and then activating it so you're screwed for extra fees? Nothing, I guess. Here it is. Once the new model goes into effect, sellers will no longer see halo or direct attribution for promoted listing general ads. There will only be the new attribution policy. And this was the one, and see, this is the question. People had said, you did a video on this 6 months ago, or Tech and Sports talked about this 6 months ago. And I think what people fail to realize is that this policy was talked about 6 months ago for the UK folks, not for us in the US. We didn't think that we were going to be dealing with this new policy. We thought this was going to be a testing thing only. And a lot of times they do tests for the UK, Australia, Europe, and we never see it, right? They just there's enough blowback from those folks that they figure it's not a good idea. And I'm going to kind of expand here and kind of go into why this may have been implemented. No one's really been talking about this here in a minute, but let's continue on this here. eBay collects their normal final value fee percentage as well as the ad rate percentage on that increased product price, giving them an even larger take rate on the total sale than they would have had otherwise. Now this is where it really hurts people. Sellers with multiple quantities of the same item will be hit particularly hard by this change. If you have 100 of one item in stock, all it takes is a single click by one person on the ad for that item, and every sale of that item for the next 30 days will have the ad fee attached. So this is more painful if you're a multi-quantity seller. And of course, at any point during the last 30 days, there's another click on the ad for that item, the time frame extends. So it's not just the first click that's okay, we'll get past the 30 days. No, it's every click into the sponsored ad will then activate a new 30-day window. It's like a rolling window. So I'm not going to get into all these other crazy selling fees, but what I do want is to kind of talk about some of the things that people are wondering, like, what should I do? What should I do? Now, this show we try to identify solutions if we can, not just the problems, because this can be just taken as just a general, just a bitching session, for lack of a better term. And I think those of us who are trying to make this work and trying to keep our fees down need to figure out. You got a little over 2 months to figure out what do you do. Now, in the video that I put out, a lot of people were saying, you know what, I'm done promoting. And that's the first option. You can be done promoting if you, feel like it's going to save you some money. But the problem is eBay's going to punish you with fewer views. You're going to be pushed down further in search. Now, someone like Todd, Silver Hair Stacker, he doesn't promote. He's happy with what he's got. I challenged the idea that maybe he'd get more sales if he did promote, but he's found what works for him, and this doesn't affect him at all. If you don't promote, this is not hurting you or affecting you in any way. If you do promote and you decide to go to a no promotion strategy, yes, you will be saving money on fees, and you probably will find that you're going to want to list in more volume to make up for the fewer sales that you're getting, right? So getting more items up, more sales through sheer volume than being given more traffic, if that makes sense. You can stop using dynamic, or people do like setup for their dynamic, meaning that whatever eBay suggests, the suggested ad rate, it automatically sets for that item, right? So there's no work to be done. They just, whatever eBay wants, I'll set. There's people who do it that way. And some people use a cap. My argument is, well, if the suggested ad rate is always going to be over 10 to 15%, I mean, you might as well just say, put a fixed rate. But to me, I think the worst option altogether, I think almost worse than not promoting at all, is to allow eBay to dictate what you're going to promote at through a dynamic campaign. And that thing can change daily. It could go 15 to 17 to 5. Well, it rarely goes that low. But you know what I'm saying? It'll change, and you have no control over that. So that's the worst option. You can use a tiered strategy. Now, let's hear me out on this. And I've been talking about this. This, to me, feels like it's the most optimal way. So let's say you list your items, okay? And for the first 30 days, within that 30-day cycle of that listing, you have no promotion. No promotion. Let that thing sell on its own merit. If after 30 days, that item's still in your store, you do an end item, sell similar, which is you go in and end it and then sell similar, right, from the endeds. Or you could do relist too. By doing that, you then now, as part of the relist process or sell similar process, you're now you're making it 2.1%. I'd say 3.1 is where I'd start. And then you put a little asterisk in your SKU field so you know you're on the first tier of promotion for that listing. And you do that every month. So if that item's still there the next month, you then push it up to 5.1 and then 7.1 and 9.1 until the damn thing's gone. Now, all the while, you're doing things like maybe adding offers and being more aggressive with things. That is, to me, I think that is a pretty solid strategy. If you're just blindly promoting, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to lower the fees, that would be one way to do it. And then, of course, lower your ad rates, guys, your current ad rate strategy. Now, I showed you guys this, and most sellers should actually have this. If you go into your Seller Hub and then Performance tab, and then go down to, actually it's on the right side, and a summary on the right side, right upper side, it'll show you your listing quality report. And what I've noticed is, here is kind of what it looks like. And if you go to, it'll show you your top 10 categories. And if you go and scroll over, it'll say your promoted listings ad rate. And the top one is where you're at for that category. So I'm averaging 9%, which is about right. I have 8.1 and 10.1 on some other items. But the top 10% of sellers that sell in this category sell at 8%. Now that's an average. That tells me that I might be overpriced by 1%. And you know, what does it really matter if I'm promoting at 9% or let's say 7%? If I'm occupying the top spot anyway? You know, you got to see where you're being placed in search. So maybe you go through this through all of your categories and see what it looks like for you. And like 10% there, I might be 3% too high. So I might consider going down a couple percentage points on that category, shower heads and combos, right? Because ultimately we might be paying too much for our promoted listings. If you're getting the top spot at 10 and the top spot at 7, what the hell are you promoting an extra 3% for? You shouldn't be. I mean, you're getting near the top spot anyway. So these are all ideas that I have. I think that the worst strategy would be to stop promoting unless you have a plan to increase production of that item. Meaning, you have a store of 500 items. Maybe you're going to double the size of your store to give yourself more volume, but you're not going to promote. That's a strategy, something that you might want to consider. So my normal 15-minute diatribe, but I think it's important for us to figure out. You got a couple months to figure that out. I mean, unless you just want to remain oblivious to this, and there's some that will think that, look, when I promote, I just figure I'm going to be charged that anyway. And if I now, instead of 65% of the time being charged that fee, and now it's almost 100, well, I had kind of figured that into my strategy anyway. So, and if what you're doing is working, then I would consider not changing anything at all. That's kind of where I'm at, except I might be a little high on some of the categories. So just something to throw out there and to consider. So one thing also, for those of you who are confused about how this thing works, I did develop through AI, it helped me put this thing together, a flowchart. So some of us are like, I have no idea what you just said in the first 20 minutes. What the hell are you talking about? So here we go. We have a flowchart. So with this change, okay, oops, I'll just go back down. You list an item, right? It's promoted. Let's say you promote it 5%. Okay, the buyer clicks on your promoted listing, just some random looky-loo. It's promoted at 5%. Okay, by clicking into your item, it starts a 30-day attribution clock. Okay, so any new click resets the timer. We talked about that. So, but this is starting the timer for that listing. Now, the new buyer comes. This is the yellow. Just say this is the new buyer, and let's say 2 weeks. Is that listing still promoted? So maybe you decided after that buyer is initially clicked, so at some point, you said, you know what, I'm not going to promote this item. They go in and buy the item. It's not promoted anymore. You don't pay a promoted fee, okay? But if it's still promoted, let's say they clicked on your organic one, by the way. We're talking about they found it organically by sorting it from lowest to highest. They click on it. They say, I'm going to buy this item. If it was within that first click up here, then you're paying that fee. Could be anywhere from 2% up, depending on where you're at. We said it was 5%, so you're paying the 5%. If not, let's say that they clicked on the organic listing 32 days after that first click, then you're not paying the promoted listing fee. So this new policy is not going to wipe out promoted listing fees. I mean, the organic sales on promoted listing items, but you may find that 90% of your items are going to show that fee versus like 65%. So it will definitely add more eBay fees. And the question that I have before we get to your comments and all that is the why. Why did this happen? And my main concern about all this is, again, why does eBay operate this way when there's bad news? They had an opportunity a week ago at the seller check-in to tell sellers, hey, this is coming, guys. But maybe they didn't know. And I say that to try to give eBay the benefit of the doubt. But if we talk about this article, another article from Liz Morton, she is the go-to when it comes to reselling data. So go check that out. But eBay is set to report Q3 2025 earnings on October 29th. 5:30 Eastern. So maybe they reported that Q3 earnings on the 29th, but maybe they knew about this earlier in the week because they had to get the reporting ready for the media or whoever it was, and they have lost a little bit of money. I'm trying to find the information here. Don't quite see it here. Let's see. So yeah, I'm not seeing the information that I saw earlier, but because of the bad report and it's underperforming, they blamed it on tariffs and all that. And I'm sorry I'm scrolling, but I'm just trying to find the information for you here. It could be a reaction, a knee-jerk reaction to maybe not so hot reporting for Q3, where they decided, yeah, we got to get more revenue in here, and this is the way. We were doing it in the UK. Maybe we had it on the shelf, and this is kind of the deciding factor. We need to do something because, again, when subpar reports come out for the shareholders, there gets to be a little bit of a panic. And I do know that eBay stock did go down a few days ago. So this could be a reaction to the data, and we're now going to be paying for it. So I want to know what you guys think about that. We have Derek LaRue. Nice of you to offer, or actually not offer, but give away 20 memberships. So thank you for doing that. Let's see who we have. We have, doesn't say here. Do you have, oh, here it is. Here it is. You ready?
Yep. Landshark Picker, Ren Gregory, My Paper Route, Marvar, Oliver, Ollie's Treasure Chest, Leah, is that Leah? Well, The Bubbly Chick Does Unboxing, Candy Kiss 33, B to You, Paul Swafford, Phil 5 Dime, Nathan Hale, Mike Hickey, RL, Robert DeVoe, Vintage Sport Flips, Happy Picker, Brad Jackson, Southern North, Angela Short.
Awesome. Whoops.
We would be honored if you would join us.
I know. The whole thing went crazy. Something's going nuts there. Sorry, guys. My keyboard fell.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, Derek. That was awfully nice of you.
That is absolutely awfully nice of you. And we actually just had our members only, because people might say, what am I getting for being a member? What the hell does this even mean? You have access to the members only content, and the members only content, sometimes we'll do videos where I classify it as, the masses don't care what John's doing. Maybe I have some thoughts about something. It's not a video I want to put out for the masses, but people who really are fans of the channel, they'll have access to. So we have some of that. And then we have these live reseller roundtables. And there's a person who's frequented this channel before. They may be watching, and they did an Instagram post that, if you have a membership, they didn't care if it was 99 cents. It's in their eyes wrong to have, because most of the information you're providing, those people are free anyway. But it's not about the information. It's never been about that. I always share the information with you guys, whether you're a member or not. These lives that we do for the members, we keep it a very small audience so that people aren't afraid to share their stores. If I offered a live stream, and I do it, but if I offered a live stream where we'd have, trying to get volunteers to show their store so we can critique it, nobody would volunteer if they knew thousands of people were going to be watching it, because it's like, I don't want to put my information out there. But if, 30, 40, 50, 60 people are watching it, it's a little different, especially if those people are serious, and nobody signs up to be a member or watches the channel enough to be, and ends up getting selected as a member, that have bad intentions, at least so far. So it's been very productive, and there's a lot of people that have made a lot of changes to the store due to the feedback, not just that what I give, but some of the people in the chat are giving as well. So it's a very productive thing. So thank you again, Derek LaRue, for adding some of these folks. And some of these folks we never really see on the lives, but a lot of them are probably from the rewatch crew. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it. I cannot. We really don't do these lives for the super chats or for the membership, the gifted memberships. But I got to tell you, it means a lot to us when we see that, because it's like it tells us where our content is valued. So I appreciate that. But I got to say though, Thomas was first. Thomas S.
was
yes.
first.
And chat will probably flip on me now. Thomas, at 6 p.m. will be prime trick-or-treating time, so I'll be in and out, but hope everyone has a good weekend. How many people are just going to be hanging out at home waiting for the trick-or-treaters? It's probably happening already for some of you on the East Coast. Like I said, once we're done here, we're out. Trying to do it trying to I don't want candy around the house, leftover candy. Just so many things I don't like about the Halloween holiday. So maybe I'm a party pooper, but that's just kind of the way I roll.
We're gonna go party it up over at the movie theater.
Guess what we get to do? I get to go watch a chick flick for 2 hours.
Wait, what was the name of it?
Regretting You.
I mean, there aren't very many movies out right now. A lot of them are horrors, which I will not watch. And the chick flicks, they're okay. I have to really be in a mood to watch one of those things. But it's really our only choice. So it is what it is.
In It to Flip It is now a new member. So thank you for being a member of the show.
Welcome!
We've got Mike Meck. Actually, before we get to Mike, we get to Brenda. Brenda says, I'll vouch for you, Thomas. Mm-hmm. Mike Mecco is with us. Now, how you doing, Mike? Congrats, Thomas. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you all get some nice Halloween treats today, namely some nice sales. Hit that like button. It's not a trick.
That's right.
I have to say, though, if you notice that maybe sales could be a little slower, it could be that people are just out and about, preoccupied, and they're not doing the eBay thing. They're more doing the Halloween thing. So,
well, some people have little kids. I mean, when we had little kids, we also, did the whole Halloween thing. But because we are empty nesters now and our grandkids live very far away, we don't have a reason. Halloween is not something we celebrate. Honestly, I hate the Halloween celebration, but our children, of course, we want to make sure they had the experience of being able to make that choice for themselves.
Yes, Thomas, gifted memberships only last 1 month. Yes. So it gives you a chance to, maybe your situation doesn't allow it. I mean, we do it, we try to keep it to really inexpensive, $2.99, but we understand that some people just, it's not in the cards. No matter how much you like the show, it's not something that's on your radar. But when you get a gifted membership, at least it gives you a chance to kind of go back and look at some of the content that we may have put on there. Also, our very famous but hardly seen video, because it's only available to members, of our trip earlier this year where we had the problem at the airport. Maybe that's interesting to you, but we have that there as well. Thomas says, I handed my son a carton of eggs, toilet paper, and shaving cream last night and told him to make me proud. He was lost as to do and my wife yelled at me.
That's what our childhood was made for.
Yeah, that was before AI. That was before computers.
That was before cell phones.
Yeah.
And you could get caught with the Ring cameras and all the other things. But those were fun times. I swear we lived in the best time.
That's when crank calling people was great before caller ID, right? Caller ID screwed all that up.
Toilet papering was so much fun, too. We got in some really big trouble one year. Yeah. And I won't go into detail, but it was, we had to clean up the mess.
Remember one time me and a buddy we had nothing better to do, so let's look in the yellow pages and find one of our teachers. It was a French teacher.
I think you've told this story before.
But I'll tell it again. Can I tell it again?
Sure.
Because we have new people that have never seen the story, heard the story. Mm-hmm. So we decided to do some crank calling, and he's a super nice guy too, super nice guy. And we called at 2 a.m. on a Friday night, and he wakes up and he answers, I guess wakes up, or maybe he was still up. But he didn't sound like he was all that awake, and he's like, hello? I said, I woke up for a sandwich. What did you wake up for? Needless to say, he wasn't that happy about it, right? But I remember back in the day just doing stupid stuff like that. Yeah. Thomas S. says, Mischief Night was an 80s kid rite of passage. These young ones have no idea.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
The adventures.
We had such good childhoods.
I don't know about good, but
adventurous. When it comes to experiences, drinking out of a hose, playing outside all day long until the streetlights came on. We used to live on a hill. Well, we lived at the bottom of the hill, but at the top of the hill, I used to ride my bike I would push it up to go to the top of the hill, and then we would haul ass down the hill, and that was pretty fun.
I bet you never put yourself under citizen's arrest, though, have you?
No.
So the thing that we did was we'd go cruising around at the mall, right? So we'd go and we're cruising around the mall. Of course, you're looking to pick up chicks and stuff like that. So you're cruising around. And so, like, there's 4 of us in the car. We're cruising around. And someone got pissed because we weren't going fast enough. And they were honking and yelling and screaming at us. So we stopped the car. We got out and we put our hands up and put our hands on our head and put ourselves under citizen's arrest. It was pretty fun. Nonetheless, that was just being stupid back in the day.
Yeah, it was definitely not a time for safety and rules and people narking on you. Like, we did stupid stuff. And never got caught. So
how about kicking the escalator at the bottom, and so during the Christmas holiday season to where it actually shut off?
No,
we were doing stupid things like that.
I didn't live close enough to a mall to be able to do that.
We were mischievous. Yeah.
We did a lot. I lived in the country, so I lived out where you could go up to one of the hills and party all night long.
Yeah.
So
Mike G says, heads up for those who have multi-quantity discounts. My inventory was overstated by $9,000. I found a handful of listings where my quantity went from 0 to 67 for one listing. There's about a total of 10. I have to tell you, I have noticed this year, and I'm turning on my damn fan because it's getting hot in here. I got to tell you, I continue to see where I have inventory that I have had to keep increasing the number. So, like, we have these batteries. We have these Roomba batteries, and I had like 18 of them. And we sold one, and then we didn't sell any at all. So it's like, what's going on? I went back and looked. It said there was 0 available. I'm like, well, why did they adjust it from 18 when that sold? It went to 0. So we're seeing the opposite, where some of your items are ending because it's showing 0 inventory when you still have inventory. So just if you have multi-quantity, I'd say it's a good idea to go check to see if eBay has changed the item count up or down, because that's a big problem, especially if you have a lot of items. Mm-hmm. Generally, it's more a concern if, let's say you have, well, I guess if you have 1 and they're trying to say you have 10 and someone tries to buy multi-quantity, I think I'd rather have the opposite happen, to where it at least says I'm sold out. I'm not going to get hit with a cancellation defect because I don't have that many. Derek W. Pat says, hello to you beautiful, genuine OEM New Tags people. Happy Halloween.
I don't know about the New Tags. That's definitely not it.
New old stock.
Yeah.
Brenda Smith says, hello everyone. Hope everyone had a great week.
Yes.
Tommy Z says, hello, favorite reselling couple. Looking forward to this live. Nice to see you, Tommy Z. James Jungle Safari says, I might be late. It is trick or treating time. I'm waiting for kids to show up.
Nice.
And that's the thing I don't like about it, just waiting and waiting.
It riles up the dogs. They bark at every single little sound. And it's just not fun
anymore. If trick or treating was the way it was when we were kids, I would be down for it.
Yeah,
like,
and
I'd
if
buy
our
the mask.
grandkids were close and we could actually go out trick or treating with them, that would be a whole different story. I would be 100% outside with the kids.
I was at the storage unit, and by the way, we're got like a few more boxes. I planned on, I could have gotten out of there on Wednesday, but I said, you know what, there's a few things left in there. I'll just go Saturday, my last day, get those out of there. I have a table and a chair in there. Let's get those out and just sweep things up and then go tell them, see ya, right? But while I was there on Wednesday, ran into a guy. He had 3 huge, like 20 by 10 storage units, and they were filled with Halloween decorations. I mean, talking like new in the box, it seemed, the way he was storing these things. Christmas decorations, and I was like, oh, getting ready for Halloween. He's like, yeah, I buy these things super cheap after the holidays, and I take them here and store them for the next year. And it's like, well, isn't that kind of the same as paying full price when it's all said and done? I didn't tell him that, but that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, you're paying all that money for a storage unit all year long for something that you bought on sale to sit in a storage unit, paying more and more money. It makes no sense to me, but to each his own.
Let's see. Thomas S. says, yes, when I talk to myself, I get all the right answers. Yes.
You got to talk out loud to yourself, not to your just quietly inside your head. You have to talk out loud.
Thomas
like
says,
I
must
do.
be down servers today, no sales.
Oh.
Mike G says, happened to me the last time my eBay made major changes back in 23. My sales were really down and then popped when I adjusted, thinking my 1.8% overall ad rate is not cutting it anymore. Yeah, but I know that was then, right? So since then they've incorporated the 2% or more. And it to flip it says, well, now having the same glitch is interesting. I think I've heard others talk about it before regarding their out of stock items. Yep. Yeah. Just make sure you're checking your multi-quantity listings out there. Brenda Smith says, never had trick-or-treaters, live in a rural countryside with a long dark drive, no street lights either. Yeah. Mike G says, have a gut feeling eBay will reward sellers to spend whatever the listing quality report rate suggestion is. My cat is 6 or 7%. I pick only specific listings currently, not entire store. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was asking AI about it too, and it was telling me about, priority, your adjust your budget. And I'm like, dude, I asked you for the standard. It was just doing all kinds of weird stuff. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to use those suggestions because I don't think AI really has a firm grasp on promoted listings. Mike G says, with new ad spend roll out come January, behind the scenes, they are already implementing it. They will not be changing it like they did in mid-2023 when they changed it to more algorithm-based. And so with that, the priority, I really don't use it. I think that's more in line with people. I think that's really a better strategy to use for multi-quantity. So someone like you have multi-quantity. I think a click, like a pay-per-click, like with the different phrases and stuff, like keywords, is a good strategy if it makes sense and if you keep it cheap enough. Thomas S. says, wind and rain here. Only have 2 kids so far. Wife bought candy for 100 kids. Guess I'm sending some leftover candy to Vegas. And my first thought was, I'll give you my address, but then it's like, that's the whole reason why we're not doing it ourselves. Well, I don't want to have a big bucket. Reason. That's the reason why I don't want to do it. I don't want to have a bucket of candy here that I am so tempted. We had candy at the bowling alley last night. They just had a bunch of candy, like a bunch of little Snickers bars and stuff. And I couldn't stop myself.
Yeah, it's called self-control, sir.
I had none.
You have none.
I had none. Jody Wilbur says, hi, John, Jen, and FA chat. Happy Halloween. Hope you're all having a great week. Trying to get some listings and end of month stuff done.
Yeah.
Andy Reno says, what's up, FA family? So as of December 11th, I'm going to take half my promoted listings off a promoted and go to 0.2 on the rest. What is everyone out there doing? So are you doing like just a 2% when you say that? Or are you doing like 5.2 or whatever? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But look, I think there's been a lot of like strategies out there. One, and even AI was saying this, is, once you get the first click, take your promoted off, but it's like, but it doesn't matter. If you get that first click, of course, okay, if you take the promoted off, if the buyer buys it, it's not going to be a fee, but you're going to find that, that was close. She almost spilled her whole drink. You're going to find that you're going to get punished by eBay. The moment you take your promoted rates off that listing, you're not going to get near the traffic. And that's the thing. You're kind of... The beauty about eBay is the fact that they provide the traffic, right? So that's what separates them from a Mercari, from a Bonanza, from a lot of these other sites. It's the traffic that they drive to. That is the leverage that eBay has over us sellers, is the threat of either the reward of extra traffic or the threat of not getting the traffic. So if you play that game where you're going to no longer promote, then eBay is going to take that away from you. Not entirely. I'm not saying you can't make sales, but it's going to be where you're not going to be as high up in placement because of it for a lot of us. David Pentland says, "Hey folks, the chat is busy tonight." Yes, yeah, I see that, but I love it. We will catch up if we can. James Jungle Safari says, "No kids yet. ICE was in a nice suburban neighborhood, and people are scared." Ooh, that's no good.
That's not a good
Or were there this trick-or-treaters dressed as ICE? Maybe.
Oh, that's terrible.
Henri Squaw says, "Howdy, John, Jen, and FA chat family. Thank God it's Friday." Yes. Thomas S. says, "Just going with the flow for now. I have too much on my mind to worry about it. We're using their platform to sell our stuff when it comes down to it." It is, and people hate me when I say this, but it is eBay's sandbox. You agree to the terms and conditions by simply listing your items there. So, guys, I always return back to the first step of reselling. Whenever we see an increase in fees, if you are buying to where you can support the things that we talk about, markdown sales, coupons, accepting offers, sending offers, higher promoted listing rates, or in this case, paying more fees. If you're buying too high, it's going to make all these things more painful. So that's kind of the thing you really got to really get in your mind is, how do I get this thing at a much lower price? And if that means you're at the yard sale and someone says, "I want $5 for it," instead of reaching for $5, say, "Would you take 3?" Because the worst case scenario there is it's still going to be $5 if they say no.
Yeah.
But they could say 3. Now you multiply that savings over, 20 items that you might pick up that day. You've just saved yourself like $40 or more, just depending. So you got to think of it as that. Jody Wilbur says, "I set a reminder on my phone to remove all promoted on December 11th. Mm-hmm. Tammy Sirk says, "Hi, John, Jen, and FA fam. Nice to see you."
Hello, Tammy.
Flip It Good says, "Happy Friday. Nice to see you." And Thomas S.
What?
Darn it. "John, love you, brother. You're the best, but your childhood mischief stories are lame. I also already have your address. eBay open swag giveaway. Candy coming your way."
Oh, shit.
Look, I only share my lame stories because I dare not share
he does have. He was not a very good boy.
I was not influenced very well.
No, he was not a good boy, and he got in a lot of trouble.
No, don't say that. I don't want the world to know I'm a bad guy.
Well, you were. You're definitely not that person. He wasn't even that person when I met him.
No.
So
No.
when he started telling me these stories, I'm just like, what and who did I marry?
I was allowed, like my last year of high school, I was allowed to just run rampant. Just like, I was allowed to spend like an entire summer like 60 miles away at my friend's house. And it was like, okay, we'll see you before school starts. That's like, really? Who does that? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's actually very sad.
Andy Reno says, "Hey Jane, so where are you from? I know Chicago somewhere, born and raised by John and Jenna's favorite place, Midway Airport."
No.
Yes.
No.
Our favorite tour guide, Tony.
No.
He showed us the police and everything. It was really nice.
I know.
Jackie Bleckner says, "Hi all, nice to see you, Jackie."
Hi, Jackie.
Record Crate says, "Happy Friday."
Hello, Record Crate.
And Jakester, flipping too easy. How you doing, Jake? E-Buyer's Choice. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And Ryan Hess, Happy Go Lucky.
Yes, and David Pentland.
Mike says there's been some good videos covering the new eBay policy, including John, Kevin, Justin Resells, and Ryan Roots. And the suggestion has been made for viewers to make their feelings known. Yes, but, and here's the way you do it. The way you do it is you go in, and whether it's shaking your phone within the eBay app so it gives you the feedback option, or you go in and where it shows, I believe it shows the question mark on the Seller Hub. You go in and there should be a place to leave feedback somewhere. And you leave, if they get enough pushback on this, they may consider it, right? I also think if they get enough people that stop promoting, that might send a message to them that this is the wrong thing. Now, for those of you who want to do that, more power to you. I will not be doing that. I am going to work within the system. See, here's the problem. I think this conversation kind of spills over to a bigger conversation of we need to, here we go, we need to unite. We need to form a union. We need to all stand together. Can you turn that ringer off, please? Because people get mad about it. We all need
I can't control it.
We all need to stand together, and we need to stop promoting in the name of unity, and this will stop eBay in their tracks. But I got to tell you, if every eBayer who watches YouTube goes in and cancels their promoted listings, they'll notice it. I'm not going to say eBay won't notice it, but those sales are going to go to those hardworking people who don't even consider watching YouTube. They're just on eBay Island, and they're going to get a sales spike because they're going to get higher placement. Unless you can find a way to get at least 90% or more of resellers to stop doing a thing through Unity, it's just, you're just hurting yourself if you stand with 10%. Okay, so you take a stand with 10% of the sellers, those other 90% are going to benefit, and you're going to suffer. So that's not an option. And I'm not saying, Mike, that you're suggesting that, but there's so many people that that's where they go with it, and they get mad at me for, I'm wearing an eBay shirt and I'm supporting eBay. No, I want to see eBay do well. I don't like their tactics. I don't like how they're kind of underhanded with their message. Instead of we have a forum to share the good and the bad, they share only the good and they sneak in the bad. I've got a problem with that. I understand they're running a business, but let's all be real. We know what their priorities are. Their priorities are their shareholders and the buyers, and then the sellers. That's sort of the order of ranking. And so we have to. I'm not saying for you to accept it. I'm just saying for you to understand it. And the sooner that you understand it, the easier it is to eventually accept it if you choose to. And I've been accepted it. Michelle Kirkpatrick says, "Happy Halloween. Nice to see you."
Hello, Michelle.
And Kevin Hawthorne. He may be trick-or-treating, though, tonight, so he might be in a different location. Keith is with us.
Keith!
I was worried. I didn't see you.
He was late.
Derek W. Pat, nice to see you. And happy birthday, Jenna.
My birthday's January 13th, the day that this goes into effect. But thank you.
Mike says, as it's known that eBay does monitor these channels, and if we speak out, maybe they'll rescind this unfair policy. I think if we speak out, it certainly could help. I think speaking out, though, versus opting out. Look, speaking out doesn't hurt your sales. Speaking out just simply, through the forum, shaking your phone in the app, or going on the feedback option on eBay.com. I think every seller who wants to see these tactics change, it's a good thing to try. I mean, it never will hurt. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Nothing. So I suggest all sellers get on and voice their feedback through that means. And heck, when I do it, I'm going to hashtag Jonathan, because he said that if you say, "Hey, Jonathan, I need your attention on this matter," I'll make sure I put Jonathan in there, because he says that that's when you do the feedback option, all those requests come through his queue, and he reads all the ones that have him marked in there. So Jonathan is the guy you want to maybe address your concerns to when you do that. Who knows what's going to happen? We got 2.5 months, so maybe eBay does change their course. But I really think you got two options: happy seller, happy shareholder. Who wins, guys? Happy seller doesn't ensure that they get to keep a job. Okay, the shareholders, their dissatisfaction with the eBay stock gets passed down to the board. The board will say, "Oh, by the way, we're finding a new president of the company or CEO for the company, and you ain't doing it, you're out." And so it's self-preservation for the CEO to make sure that the numbers look good. And if that means that the sellers get hurt in the process, well, that's just what it means. So I'd like to say that this would be a lot easier to get eBay to change if the stock was up and the shareholders were getting taken care of. But right now, Q3 report doesn't support that. The Crazy's Life is here. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Well, yeah, I was 2 minutes late, and he's still in a diatribe. Well, you got to expect that. Thomas S. says, thumbs up, John, for being the first video that highlighted the new promoted listing update. Kevin Commonwealth mentioned you beat him to the punch a few times in his video today. Well, I have to give credit where credit is due, though. First of all, I have to give credit to Liz Morton because she's on top of it, right? The only difference is she has a website that she writes articles for. We do videos. But I also have to say that Justin Resells was on it before I was. And the only reason why, because sometimes you see another creator doing a video and you decide, nah, he's already covered it, I'm not going to do it. But the only reason why we decided to do it was because I realized he has a lot more viewers than I do, but maybe there's some viewers who don't watch his channel that watch this channel. But also, I noticed he really didn't have a visual breakdown of how this thing works. So I know that there's some people out there who are visual learners, or like, this policy went way over my head, and by showing you that that flowchart, it might help you get a better understanding of how this thing is and what it means to more fees. So that's why we did it. So thank you for that. Andre Squaw says, you do not have to stop promoting early, and there is an and. There is an and it has to be promoted at the time of the sale. Yeah, there is an and on that. It has to. So like on the flowchart, if you go in and you, after a week, you got the click, right? So it's activated, but after a week, you turn it off, promoted for that. If someone comes in and buys it, then they're not paying that fee. But LSS Basher says, on eBay since 1988, my solution will be adios eBay, making plans of shutting it down, not the money, the principle. I get that. I respect that. But my question for those of you who are walking away, from eBay, what's plan B? So plan A was, we were going to try to sell our stuff on eBay. We just got tired of the shenanigans. So what is plan B? Now, Keith Pitko has a plan B. He's enacted a plan B because he got tired of their shenanigans.
Which is plan A now.
Plan A, and I don't know if eBay even becomes a plan B, if it's just not in the plan at all. But he's moved on to selling off of eBay, and he's able to do it. And I think if you can do like a Shopify, right, and drive traffic to your listings, you're going to pay fees, but you create your own rules. Now you have to work within Shopify's general rules, right? You can't sell things that they don't allow, but you can handle returns the way you see fit. You can, run your business within your rule set. I think that's an option too, that some people should look into. Keith says, I like the shirts, eBay. Jesus. eBay, Jesus.
Jesus is the light.
eBay is not the light.
No.
It's not the truth.
It is
we all know that.
It's sparkling.
And eBay for some is not the way. So
Jesus is the only way.
Jody says, it's funny, I'm an everything seller, mostly clothes, but my biggest sales this week are on a handful of Pokemon cards I've listed. $135 on Monday for one card, then $150 on Wednesday for a combo sale.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good.
I would come buy Pokemon cards, and I probably wouldn't know the common from the good one.
You wouldn't know.
Reef the Sea Forever. At the end of the day, just assume you're going to pay the promotion tax no matter who buys your item. That it is what it is. Yes, I agree. Now, we all know this isn't the end. Okay, we all know this isn't the end of this. So eBay now has found a way to, and it's a loophole that I uncovered a long time ago, because originally when promoted listings started, when you did a best match search, you had, if you're promoting, your organic popped up there, and then somewhere a little bit down further was your sponsored ad. And eBay was like, oh no, people are complaining, like there's the same listing showing up twice in my searches. That's not fair for those who weren't promoting. So eBay went into best match search and removed that. So only there was a mix of organic and sponsored. But they never fixed, when you sorted that or that best match search, they never fixed, like if you sorted it by price, it would still pop up with the two listings, and with the organic showing up first. They did away with that, so now it's just the organic showing up. But this is a way to help close the loophole to where more listings, even though you are seeing some organics pop up, this is a way to collect the fees that were always intended to be collected. Angel says, hey, to the both of you, I bought my first item from overseas. It's getting shipped through eBay's GSP for the UK. I'm so excited. That's awesome.
Ooh.
Well, let us know how that turns out.
Yeah.
Because, shipping overseas, how do they handle your item? I've always kind of worried about that. When I'm shipping overseas, it's like I'm comfortable with when it gets, when it's getting transported in the U.S., but once it leaves, it's like, man, are they just really throwing it off the plane onto the tarmac, or what are they doing? Thomas wants to know how Keith is doing. So thank you for being here. Queen Bee, Arizona says, and I think that's what that means. Hello, beautiful people. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Angel says, also love your shirt, Miss Jenna. Jesus is Lord.
Yes, thank you so
And
much.
Lisa Dury says, hi, J&J in chat, listening this evening in Ohio.
Oh, hi.
Nice to see you.
And Andy Reno.
Yep, Andy
Oh,
Reno.
you're saying hi to everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
Pitco says, it's all good. Load of repairs coming, so going to be busy. Hopefully be releasing video soon.
Nice.
And I can tell you that things are going to be normal here very soon. I didn't spend time trying to video document this whole thing. I kind of thought it was going to slow me down, and I wasn't sure how many people were really going to okay, good, big deal. You moved from your storage unit to your garage. But I will be showing people kind of what it looks like. Maybe the members that might care, I might make a video to show the way it looks now. So something to do. But it's just it was a very stressful moment, 2-week moment. But I'm glad that it's done, because it's allowed me to see that on my current storage area here, I had more space than I thought I did, and that's going to help a lot. Daniel Oberholzer says, is there a single tool that does cross-listing, tracks your inventory, and tracks your costs and profits for each marketplace? Treecat's close to that. I would say Treecat is close to that. I don't know if there is a field in there to put your cost of goods. I'm not sure. I have to get back with you on that. I don't think there is.
But that could be a suggestion.
That could be a suggestion. But I can tell you this, as far as the tracking your inventory, we already know it does the cross-listing, and they're adding new platforms all the time. But unlike eBay, eBay holds your stuff for 90 days. So after 90 days, you can't relist or sell similar on that item. Mm-hmm. You might be able to see the first photo, but those photos you put in that listing are gone too. With Treecat, they'll hold your listings indefinitely until you delete it out of Treecat, and that includes your photos as well. So if you buy an item, let's say, and 6 months from now you find it again, well, you can just simply go onto Treecat and update the quantity and relaunch it. Daniel says, is there we just read that one. Derek says, I guess repeat buyers and followers of your store who go directly to your store listings will now have to pay the fee if you're promoting that item. It's highway robbery. It stinks. Keith says, there is a lot of changes coming your way. I know that as I did hear that from the open. Like what? What's coming our way? What more good news can you pass on? Queen Bees says, yes, Derek, I agree. There should definitely be some exceptions. I feel like they were too lazy to program them in. Or maybe that's by design. Mm-hmm. Keith says, fees will keep going up just like postage costs keep going up and up and up. So what's next? What's next? I mean, I don't want to deliver eBay any ideas, but I mean, it's good to kind of see. I mean, they did go from 1% minimum to 2% minimum with promoted listings. Is that going to change? Amazon's, oh, and by the way, it did change for some of the dynamic. If you're using dynamic promoted, the minimum is not 2%, it's 5%, right? So, and they didn't do a whole lot of advertising that. So, just be on the lookout. Amazon Seller 99 says, being at the mercy of eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, etc. is the biggest weakness with the resale business model. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what are the alternatives to that? I mean, heck, even Bonanza last year, they changed their structure and, how they show your items, right? By offering you more exposure if you had one of their different level of stores and all that. It's all about making money. And look, I don't blame them for making money. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. But I really wish, and Beard had mentioned this on his live on Wednesday, that I had mentioned that. Actually, I think he mentioned it on PPP. By the way, I think that's going to air tomorrow. That eBay is doing a better job in advertising. Like they're spending the money to get their ads on the World Series, right? That's good. It's the things that people love campaign. But the point he made was that's great, but the demographics for that aren't your Gen Zs. More than likely not. I mean, I guess you have some Gen Zs that'll watch the World Series, but they need to be focusing on Gen Z content and advertising there to make eBay a household name for the younger generation, because we already know that eBay exists. I mean, if you've been around for 30 plus years, you already know that eBay exists. It's a place to go for various things. But a lot of these newer kids that are coming up, they hear about these other sites, but it's like, eBay? I mean, you ask them, where would you go if you needed this? They wouldn't say eBay. Mm-mm. So get eBay as an option in the back of their mind and find things that you can advertise, shows or content on social media that you can advertise to make it a household name. Queen Bee says, postage keeps going up. I start cutting out flaps in boxes.
That is a great idea.
It is. If you are borderline,
I'm gonna do that.
If you're borderline, like, damn it, I'm 0.5 of an ounce over.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. That is brilliant.
Mac22 says it doesn't matter if they find your item organic. If you're promoted and I click on your item but don't buy it, you're on the hook paying the fee when someone else buys it. Redefining attribution. I don't know if, and you might be right on that. When I say organic, it's just the second click. So you would think, like currently, if Joe Blow, some yahoo, clicks on your item, it doesn't currently activate anything. And the guy who buys it 2 weeks later clicks on your organic listing, well, you're not paying a promoted fee because of what Joe Blow did 2 weeks ago. But on January 13th, that's what's going to happen. Now, the question that you had, and this is something that Keith and I were kind of at odds about, and I'm still on the other side of this equation, even though AI seemed to agree with him in that if you were to get a click, right, so that activates that listing for 30 days and decide in 2 weeks to end it and relist it, right, that would, historically, you'd still have your, in the past, you'd still have your sales history attached to it. You'd have all the history of the listing and the same item number when you relist it. But now the way it works, it's much like a sell similar, where it gives you a new item number. You have no sales history. There's nothing tied to it. But AI seems to think if you make no changes within that listing, it still looks at it as the same listing when it comes to the attribution side to it, which is what Keith was saying. But my thing was, okay, so if I change, what can I change when I relist it to get rid of the attribution? And AI was saying your MPN number, your brand, your photos, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Once you delist it, you lose the item number, or the whatever number that is.
You get a new item number assigned when you relist it.
Right. So why doesn't that? It should be cutting all ties to that listing when you're...
That was my thought. And that's the changes that were made. If you were having this discussion, say, a couple years ago, or was it a year 2 ago, when they made the change to the way the relists behave, where it's no longer tied to history of that listing, then I would agree with that, because you still have the same item number when you relist. Now you get a new item number when you relist, so there shouldn't be any tie to that anymore. If you're losing the history of the listing, why aren't you losing the entire history to the listing?
What did they put in there to where, is it just based on the actual item itself?
Well, they're saying the MPN number, the UPC, the EAN, which I never use an EAN,
what if we don't
the brand,
put that in?
But the title and the photos. So it sees, oh, they're using the same photo, it's the same listing. But I don't know about that. So I'm going to do a deep dive on that. And I mean, it is possible, but you'd have to change all those things. And who's going to go through all that trouble? Keith says, if you sell unique items or items in high demand, then you don't always need lots of items in store to promote, to not promote. Yeah, and I agree. You can, like I said, one strategy is drop your promotions and really scale. And you probably, in my opinion, if you were to double the size of your store by scaling and you drop promotions, this is just a wild ass guess, you probably would retain about the same number of sales than you do now. I think if you did promote with a bigger store, you get more sales, but you get less money. So in the end, if you maybe you're going to get more listings. You're going to get more listings up, right? Than maintaining a 500 item store. You have to maintain a 1,000 item store, for instance, to get the same amount of revenue. Is that worth it? I don't know. Big Dre says, I mean, we all knew this was coming, and there will be more fees to come. I'm guessing fees will stop at 50%. At some point, eBay will figure out how to get people that don't have to promote like antiques. But see, at some point, eBay is going to price themselves out as a viable option to sell on. Now, for some people, it's already happened. That's not here yet for me. But what happens to eBay when they go down this? It's like a drug addiction, and that they're addicted to getting their shareholders some profit, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're hurting their business model. Yeah. And at what point do they push away so many sellers that
now they don't have any money, nowhere to get the money to come from?
Well, they drive away the sellers. They drive away the sellers, and nobody wants to sell there anymore. And the strategy isn't let's keep feeing people. The strategy should be let's get more buyers on the platform so that we get more sales. And by increasing our sales, we're going to make more money. It just makes sense. Let's see. Bless you, Derek says Queen Bees.
Yes.
And In It to Flip It says, I'm very grateful that I decided in 2023 that I could do it full time. First I got a job, then I could not do it full time. First I got a job, then I restarted an old business that is doing really well. Probably stopped promoting on the 12th of January. Mm-hmm. Toxic Hazmat says, yeah, this is the type of change that makes me glad I'm not trying to be a full-time seller. Kelly Debs, nice to see you. Angel, congrats to all the new members. Yes, congrats, guys. And how far am I behind? Am I that far?
I don't know.
Big Dre says, however, as we all know, eBay has always allowed 100% promoted fees, so I guess in the future eBay could get more than 50% of your sales without promoted listings. Look, guys, I have a line that I draw. For me, until I see a huge dip in my sales, it's 10% for me is the max, right? Now, the suggested rate is, in some categories, well over 20%. But I ask you guys to consider this once again. You go to your listing quality report, and you see this, and it doesn't jive with what they have for suggested. So this right here is, I'm going to go here and try to blow it up so you can see. This says I'm at 10% in this category, which is a little high. I need to probably bring that down. 7% is the average of the top 10% of sellers within this category that I sell in. I'm willing to bet that if I was to list an item and use suggested rates, it wouldn't be 7%. It would be at like 15+%, right? Mm-hmm. So which one is the accurate one? Is it what's on this listing quality report that your competition in the top 10% of listings sold in this category, is it 7% or is it 15%? I think this is the accurate number. I think they're trying to get sellers to think that it's 15% in order to get them, oh, I'm not getting very many sales, so if I up it to what eBay suggests through a dynamic campaign, then I'll make more sales. And you will make more sales, but you're going to make less money. So consider looking at your listing quality report and try to work around that number for what you sell if you're going to promote, and ignore the suggested. If you're using the suggested right now, I firmly believe you're spending too much money on eBay fees. Henri Squaw says, yes, there should be an exception for repeat buyers. Yep. Travis says next is 5% minimum to promote. Let's not give them any ideas. I would think they'd probably go to 3%. That 1%, guys, is huge. It may not seem like a lot, but across the board, of the millions of, I think millions probably is the number, millions of items that they sell every year, that's a lot. 1% of that, it does add up. Queen Bee says, I was spending hours a week agonizing over 0.1%. I promote everything flat now. Toxic Hazmat says, yeah, to be real, about 70% of my sales come from promoted listings, and the organic sales are naturally on cheaper items because buyers sort low to high. Yeah, and I was trying to get AI to, hey, give me some more suggestions. It was saying that if you have items that have a 3% click-through rate or higher, which is a pretty strong item to have a 3% click-through rate, then do not promote that item. And I tend to agree with that. If you have items that are getting a lot of traction as it is, then maybe try not to promote those because they're going to sell on their face. It's the whole thing where if you have a lot of competition, you might want to promote. And if you have little competition to where people are just finding only your item because maybe there's only 2 listings, 3 listings on that, maybe there's really not a need to promote. eBay nickel and dimes, yes, but
Jonathan,
Jonathan Hustleman, eBay nickel and dimes
is horse poop.
Right, but it's how they roll. Let's not provide value for that. Look, it would be even more acceptable if they said, look, guys, we're going to give you more listings, for this increase. Maybe we're going to start changing the store to where you get 10% more listings to work with every month, versus allowing you to go over and still paying us more. There's ways for them to give us some more value out of that, but they choose not to give us value. In fact, hell, I'd even take a heads up. Give me a the good with the bad instead of just trying to puff up the good. Scott says, Shendell says, why not just charge everyone a higher flat rate for fees now and forget all this shenanigans? Yeah. I think, though, it's going to all work out the same because if you're promoting right now, 60 to 65%-ish of my listings, I'm already paying that promoted fee. We're talking that another 30%, maybe 25, 30% more listings are going to see a promoted rate. And I don't know how much that... I haven't taken the time to see what that actually means at the end of the year. Maybe yours is cheaper. Travis in Dallas says, the shenanigans make you feel like you have some sort of control. But we don't. We've got no control. We are in their sandbox, and we have to use their shovel. We can't use our own. We have to follow the rules, and our sand castles have to be only so high before they will penalize us some other way. Brady Bunch Villain, that's Biff, says, I wonder how many people know what percentage of their gross sale dollars are the result of promoted listings. This will determine how much the 2026 change might affect you. And I have to admit that I just haven't... the last 2 to 3 weeks, I haven't had the time to do a lot of things I'd like to do. You guys know I like to dive into the numbers and discover things. I haven't really been able to do that, even after this came out a few days ago. Reef the Sea Forever. At the end of the day, it's eBay's money grab. Yes, that's what I put on my thumbnail, by the way. Queen Bee says, why wouldn't you just end plus sell similar if you want to change the promoted rate? You can always change the promotion rate. So, for instance, in that example in the flowchart, if you... And let me go to it here. So, if you have this person, let's say you have this at 10% at the top, right? So the first buyer has no intention on buying it, but he clicks into your promoted listing, you have it at 10%. And the very next day, you say, you know what, I'm not doing 10%, I'm going to 2%. But your 30-day attribution has started. It's still a promoted listing, just at a lower rate. That they find it organically. Okay, so they find the listing organically, where in the past or currently, like right now, there wouldn't be a fee. But because you have 2%, they're going to have to pay whatever the current rate is, not the rate when they first clicked on it, if that makes sense. So it's still a promoted rate, but it's based on the current rate. Okay. Okay. So, hopefully that clears things up a little bit. Big Dre says by 50%, I mean 50% of your profit. Okay. Lilac Seller Meg is with us. Nice to see you. Scott Schindel says eBay doesn't realize that in order for sellers to constantly put good items up for sale, that it still has to be worth it for us. Yes. Yes. Toxic Hazmat says eBay stock is down about 16% across the last 5 days. Yes, because this is not good news for eBay. And I think eBay knew before this Q3 report what the report was going to look like. Okay, they just have to put the report together and pass it on to whoever wants to know. And in light of this data, I'm willing to bet that this is a driving factor in this change. They've got to find creative ways to get more money, guys. And I hate to say it, and this could be eventually, we're talking about the downfall of eBay. This could eventually be the reason why eBay sort of implodes on itself, because it's becomes unsustainable after a while. Are we there yet? I don't think so. But at a certain point, they're going to be asking too much of the seller, and people are going to be leaving in droves. Mm-hmm. Reef the Sea Forever. eBay is definitely hard on sellers right now. Yeah.
I bet you a lot of people are going to just be building a Shopify store and doing it that way.
I'd like to learn that. Maybe I have to go and dig into that. Keith says they say flipping ain't easy, but ending John's diatribe, that's downright impossible.
Yeah.
But would you rather me not come on with some type of starting topic and to go into...
John's diatribe continues on and off.
But it's not really a diatribe.
Live.
It's not really a diatribe because people tune in, not for the live, but they tune in after the fact, and they want to see what the topic is. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for those folks. Travis Dallas says Jamie's job depends on making shareholders happy, not sellers. Yes, it is. You know, he had a happy face at he had a happy face at eBay Open, but I promise you, if we were shareholders, it would be on another level. Yeah. Big Dre says soon enough, the only way to sell on eBay is buying low. Anyone that pays up for inventory is going to have a hard time with this promoted listings change. Yes, I've been saying that for years. It's you know, I've been told that that's a ridiculous statement, right? So you make money on the buy. Okay, well, you're not making money when you first buy the item, right? You sometimes have to sit on it, but eventually that item's going to sell, and if you do it right, you're going to sell it at a profit. So that's kind of what it's more of a figure of speech than to be taken literally, but you do make money on the buy. That's how you either succeed or fail. You have two sellers, one who buys low, one who buys kind of at a The guy who buys low will not have to sell as many as the second guy to make the same profit. That makes sense. Queen Bees, this is where the difference of the international sales or losing is coming from. I don't know. Charlotte McBride likes your shirt.
Thank
On
you.
response to see John, you put it out to the universe, and voila. Your membership fees are growing, or your memberships are growing. Yeah. You know, look, if we maintain where we're at, I think it's fine. I really, if I had to be honest with you, I don't want to see it grow huge, because it kind of defeats the whole reason why we're having it. Now, there's some that will post on Instagram to say like this is a money grab. I'm not for that, guys, and you guys know who've been watching the channel for a long time know that I even struggled with the idea of even having a memberships because of the optics. I don't want to look like the guy who's just doing it for the money. The money's nice, but it isn't earth-shattering. At some point, I'm going to make a video to show you what I make on YouTube versus what we make on eBay, so you understand. And most channels won't do this. They won't share their data with you. But just for you to understand that I could stop doing YouTube tomorrow and we'd probably be okay, because I'd have extra time to get more stuff listed. Reef the Sea Forever. On a good note, I had the best sales week this week. Guess what? Didn't pay any promo junk fees.
Yes, that's awesome.
Duncan. Ask AI should I have KFC, fish and chips, or pizza? Let me know what AI says.
I say fish and chips.
Well, he wants to know what AI says.
I know.
So we will maybe go here to should Duncan, and maybe it needs to know where you're at in
Duncan in
Australia have KFC. What is it? KFC, fish and chips,
or
pizza for dinner. Okay. Now this is not reselling related at all, but we're going to find out what this thing says.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's probably not like going, what the hell kind of question is this? Based on typical Australian dinner preferences and popular options, KFC is a great for those craving fried chicken and sides and is widely available in Australia. Fish and chips is a classic Aussie British comfort food, ideal if Duncan wants something traditional or near the beach. And pizza offers a lot of variety as a good choice as well. Considerations if Duncan wants something classic. I mean, get to the point, man.
I mean, come on.
If Duncan hasn't had fish and chips in a while, that's a classic, especially. I'm going to say, give me an answer, damn it.
Pick one. Tell him to pick one.
Okay, pick one. Okay, here we go. Fish and chips. There you go. You get fish and chips. Fish and chips for you. Hopefully that was worth the super chat, but thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Michael Mullet says, just stopping in to say hey. In the middle of moving right now. I'll definitely watch the video later. Hope you guys are having an awesome day.
That's right. I did see on Facebook that you got approved. And so I was super excited for you.
Yeah, awesome. And hopefully that works out. And hopefully your inventory doesn't get lost in the shuffle. So that's the hardest part about moving when you're selling. Henri Squaw says, my sales are stagnant. Sorry to see that.
Have you done a D-list relist, or what do they call it on eBay?
A D-list relist? I don't know what you mean by that. I know what you mean by that, but how does that pertain to his situation?
A nuclear reset.
Okay. Yeah, that would be one way to do it, is to just end them all and then go in
Clear out your ended first.
Yeah, clear your ended.
That screen out.
Yep.
Then go in and...
Best way to do it, though, is go into your ended. Once you've done that, you'll have all your ended listings there, and then just select them all, relist, and maybe that'd be a good time to assign a blanket promoted rate at that point, too. In it to flip, it says, I don't understand why people complain about these memberships. It's not really about learning for me anyway. It's about the community. And look, it's perception. People look at it as a money grab. People look at it as, you know, here's John just trying to get a shakedown of people, people's money. And I don't ever want it to be that way. And I tell you, if we didn't have something to offer you guys, like a round, the hell, it was a hell of an idea. I think Keith came up with it. Yeah. To do a resellers roundtable. I said, that's a great idea. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah, and we certainly do it for the community as well. It's, you guys mean more to us than just the average, other resellers. We could hang out with other YouTubers all day long, but you guys are the ones that make this community run, and we love that.
Christopher says, where are your costumes? Don't you know that I'm dressed right now as the eBay crisis actor that showed up at eBay Open? That's who I am. They wore a similar shirt that says eBay on it, and they had their little tag. I don't have my lanyard on, but I guess I could get mine. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't have my complete costume. Let me get that out for you. Okay.
And I'm spreading Jesus all over this holiday.
I am the eBay Open. I am the eBay employee that presented myself as an expert.
Oh,
and
God.
All you got to do is scan my my QR code and look me up on LinkedIn, and I'll fix the problem for you. So I am. This is actually the shirt that they wore, the blue. I think it's similar to this. So that's who I'm dressed up as. I'm the eBay crisis actor at eBay Open. John D says, hey, J&J, if you wanted to volunteer for a store to use on a live, we'd be first in line. No questions or reservations.
Oh, cool.
Well,
okay.
Awesome. I think you're a member, right? I think you are. Okay. Well,
not yet.
Not yet. But really, we're going to probably...
Look at that puppy. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, this could be something we might do more often than 2 times a month. If that's what you guys want to do.
Well, we have to be careful. Holidays are coming, and we're going to be gone, and or having people here, and it's going to get a little crazy. He's still going to do the regular ones, but the holidays are rough for us.
Let's shoot for the 12th right now. The 12th of November, not January. 12th of November to do the next members only roundtable live.
Yeah, because Christmas is at our house this year, and I'm starting to decorate this weekend. So.
Yes. In it to flip it, my membership from Derek ran out. No, we don't want that.
Well, that's why he got his
Watch Predator. We got
no.
Todd. Todd is with us. Nice to see you, Todd.
Todd!
Jane says, no candy at my house. I'm handing out mini cheese balls.
Good job.
There you go.
Yes.
You lose on the winner. Your movie choice title sounds worse than Halloween. Besides, Halloween is cool, man.
Oh, it's cool in a few ways, but
Look, if I have a little bucket of popcorn and my drink, I think I can make it through a chick flick. Just yeah.
It might be better than you give it credit for.
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll see.
Lisa Duray, high school football tonight. We had a harvest party last night here in our county. That's fun.
Cool. See, I was looking up last night. I was looking up our what is it, state fair or something?
We have a taco festival this weekend.
I know, but that's not quite a state fair. And the last time they had the taco festival, somebody died, and I'd rather not attend that.
Honor Skull says, I hide in the dark. We just keep on the porch light off.
Yes, we do too. I mean, but to give us a little credit, we haven't had a trick-or-treater come to the door in 3 years. And we live in a housing tract. So it's kind of weird.
Jody says, the 1 year I didn't decorate and turn off porch lights, it didn't help. All the kids in the neighborhood showed up anyway. Yes.
Yeah.
You lose on the winter says, my entire house is decorated for Halloween except my adult kids' bedrooms. Everyone loves it. Literally lifts everyone's mood. Yeah. Traditional Halloween, not horror and gore. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister, my youngest sister, she decks out her whole house too.
So in it to flip it, Gen X rocks. Yes, we were the last free childhood. Yes.
Yes.
If you've never had a drink out of a garden hose that smelled like sulfur, and you had to let the water cool down and the smell go away, then you've never lived. I
don't remember a smell, but
I remember like on a hot day, it would come out hot and it would smell, and then you'd wait until it cooled down and then you drink it.
Yeah, same thing here, but I don't remember a smell.
I remember that.
Maybe
it was
that has
disgusting.
to do with whether you lived in the country
California.
or lived in
Southern California.
Oh, I don't know.
Keith says John watches value-added resource like it's evening news and does a 20-minute breaking news special on FAE about it. You know what? Liz does a good job. She deserves, I don't think she needs, but she deserves the exposure. So there it goes. Joe Samard says, when I was a kid, we never went out without a bar of soap.
A bar
went out without a bar of soap.
What is the bar of soap used for?
I don't know.
Is it as a weight for your pillowcase in case somebody tries to steal your bag? And you can
Reef the Sea Forever says we would take our pillowcases and what seemed for days walking for. Yes. We did. We'd fill up.
My dad used to. My real dad, who passed away, he would take our bags or our pillowcases, whatever we had, and he would take all of the candy out of it. He would stuff it in his vest pockets. And then he would send us back out again. And then when we got back, my dad would divide it amongst the 3 of us girls in equal parts.
Mailman came, right? Already?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking crazy, but I think the FedEx came too. Queen Bee says I've been seeing a volume pricing discount glitch lately that won't turn off. So be careful for that. Ended to Flip says, I live in an old Victorian that has been converted, so my door is hidden. No trick-or-treaters. I like it.
Ooh, I would love to see your house.
Derek's knowing treats in my area. Everyone goes to communities now. Saves
Yeah.
me money from buying candy anyways.
Well, we live right in the heart of North Las Vegas, so that's why it's very odd to me that there is no trick-or-treaters that have ever come to our door. Not even our neighbors. It's weird.
Keith just unplugs the Wi-Fi. That scares the teenagers away. CPR says, eBay creating the largest product database ever. We give away the rights to our photos and add item descriptions. eBay is hoarding this info. They are, but you know what? By now, 2 years ago, they came out with this magical AI lister that doesn't work right. You think that they would have all that data to really come up with a great product, and they haven't yet. So I don't get it. Brenda Smith says, I may show my age. Soap was for soaping windows and cars. I don't know.
Soaping?
Callie
So
Deb
what do
says,
you just take the bar of soap and
I don't know.
rub it all over the windshield?
But Callie Deb says, I'm not going to do automated promotions anymore. I'll promote when I think it's necessary. Okay.
Yeah.
Scott says, sounds like a shakedown to me. Yep. It's a shakedown. The sooner you accept that's what eBay's MO is, the fewer times you're going to be disappointed when it happens. So I think a lot of this backlash comes from people like up in arms, like, I can't believe that they're doing. Yeah, you can. They've been doing this all these years.
Yeah.
At this
This is
point,
nothing
unless you're
new.
new, you should believe it. This is what eBay's done, and this is what they're going to continue to do. David Pentland says, I do 5% and I pay it nearly every sale, but I have no other fees as a private seller. Mm-hmm. Peter Kornichuk says, my friend does not promote at all in his store, but does put his store on a 10 to 20% off sale regularly. What do you think is better? I think that is a very good strategy. Mm-hmm. You're aiming towards those folks who do sort by lowest plus shipping. But then again, also eBay will give you a little boost for having a competitive price. So I think using all the tools, your markdown sales, accepting offers. I mean, let's say you're not promoting, right? I think not promoting can be done if you're using all the things. The markdown sales, the coupons, accepting offers, sending out offers. Those and maybe if you have multiple quantities, offering. How about a sale where you do buy 3 get 1 free? That kind of thing. Those are all tools that eBay gives you. I think people don't use those enough. Yeah. Keith says, you want to see Jenna move quick? Wait till a spider climbs over the monitor. That was fun.
Yeah, that was.
Scott says, there's a reason Tech and Sports got out of the game when he did. He knew this was coming, but he made his money too. I mean, at some point. I mean, if what he said was accurate, if he made millions of dollars, and I mean, I don't know if that's just sales or whatever, but heck, if he made $2 million in this whole time, and he's got enough money to live comfortably while doing the other things that he does, then why not get out of the game and enjoy it? Because he's traveling all over the place. I mean, is he in New York for like a month? Gretchen says, eBay's new promoted listing is definitely not a game changer for us sellers. I'm not doing promoted listings anymore. Mm-hmm. Swamp Picker. Nice to see you. Says Swamp Picker says, hey Todd, and you lose I'm the winner. As retracted their message. Brenda says extra promoted fees may have a great impact on sellers accepting offers. It could make the difference of I consider a lot of things when I'm accepting an offer. I will consider of course how much I'm into the item for. If I'm promoting that at a higher rate. Of course, then a lower rate, I will consider their offer. If they're offering me, let's say, and I guess this is a question for everyone, what is the lowest percentage off of the item that you're going to take? Because if you're willing to take, let's say, 10%, let's say you don't promote. If you're willing to take 10% off of an item through a best offer, isn't that the same as promoting 10% without an offer? It's a numbers game, but it all is the same, I think. And to flip it says, Ryan Root said that eBay has been known to watch their videos and read the comments. He suggested we comment on his video. You might want to turn the light on the front, off on the front. I hear some children outside.
It's way too early.
Oh, they come early.
We're not ready for that. If there is somebody, I'm going to be very surprised.
You can hand them like some of those Belvita crackers. They're individually wrapped. I guess I'll give those up if I have to. Duncan says eBay's fees 10 years ago were 50% of what they are now. So expect eBay to find more ways to get our money going. Yep. And it's too hard to do it.
You can do it!
Mike says you can also respond to a survey of message we received a couple days ago to voice your opinion about the new policy change. I honestly think this will be permanent, though. So you could maybe go to your emails and see if you have a recent survey, like the eBay message system, and maybe sort it through for what eBay has sent and see if you can find that. Derek says, I did those dumb things too when I was in high school. Fun times. Nearly got caught by the cops a few too many times. Glad the adult side of myself grew up when I turned 20, my first kid. Doesn't that make you grow up? I mean, that was the age that I had my first child. She's now 31 years old now. Keith says, yeah, have a good moan at eBay so they can return the favor and throttle back your impressions. Larry way out. Nice to see you, Larry. Happy Halloween, John and Jenna. Nice to see you, Larry. Hopefully things are fine with you. Mike G says my impressions and views are at the lowest since 2023. eBay has already told my store I need to pay them more ad fees. The change happened end of August, was rolling prior to that 33% up. Yoy, year over year. Jody says the past month most of my promoted item sales have been organic, so we'll see. I don't want to pay 60% more in promoted fees. No, we don't want to pay that either. That's insane. I wouldn't suggest anyone pay that. David says, I got the translation on kimono. I've worked out to see how to pose it. It's on the table. Just need to list it now.
Oh, sweet.
So here's the thing, guys. What we're going to do is, here in the next 15-20 minutes, we're going to do a giveaway again for another Treecat hat and shirt. So if you want to stick around for another 15 to 20 minutes when we do that. This is the last day we're doing the 2 months for free promotion, and the last day you can have a chance by just simply signing up. No upfront fees with Treecat. You're just signing up for free. You have a chance to win a $100 gift card that I'll be giving away sometime next week or so when I get all the names or all the emails of who got in. So we'll be talking about that here in a minute.
And hit the like button for your sale.
Get a
within
sale.
24 hours.
You will get a sale.
Guaranteed.
Boom. There you go. Duncan says, I'm picking 25 orders and have to pack them. Otherwise, crickets and cicadas.
Oh.
You can do it!
Gretchen says, create your own store to sell your stuff, like on Shopify. Yes. Max Dawson said you should swap seating positions because this new thing about the promoted listings make me want to say, Jesus, eBay. He says, oh no, John, I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news.
When you asked him what else is the change, what other changes?
Save it for one of your videos. That'll be hot. Mike says, I think most of us are interested in how your garage and shed setup came out. Please show us. I shall.
Yeah.
Max Dawson says, everyone can quit doing promoted listings, but then eBay will raise final value fees. I mean, they're going to get their money either way. If everyone stopped doing promoted, they would say, yeah, this ain't working. We got to find another way. And then our 13.25% would be raised. So let's, do what we're going to do, but they're going to figure out a way to get our money.
Yeah. They may even take away promoted listings altogether and just up the
wazoo.
Sorry,
up the wazoo.
I went completely blank.
Because we're getting it up the wazoo.
Fees.
My professional eBay help, my eBay Open badge and my eBay shirt says that you're going to get it up the wazoo if you stay on eBay long enough. But we're here for it. Christopher Nutter says, my store on Google set it to long time ago, so don't pay for offsite ads. When I have spare time, I can explain it to you. I got to tell you, I don't do offsite ads either. I mean, look, these are all creative ways. I guess they work for some, and for most of us, they don't work as well. Duncan says, eBay fees mean you have to sell better items with enough profit or do high volume sales so you still profit. Yes. Mm-hmm. Max says, the funny thing about this is eBay isn't even hiding how much this sucks. Usually when they send out updates like this, they give you a bit of sugar coating. Nothing this time.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing.
They don't care about you or me.
But I'm a shareholder.
No.
They care about me.
You are.
I'm not a shareholder.
You're not a shareholder.
I can play one next year. Right this year, I'm just an eBay employee. I dropped my keyboard again.
God.
But what's new? Duncan says postage costs are ridiculous, and when buyers have to pay for your shipping, it affects how many sales you get.
Pay more for shipping.
For shipping, yes. John the Automator says, I heard my first eBay commercial on a 90s alt-rock radio station, so yeah, I'm not sure they're getting the other generations. They need to. That's where, I mean, look, when we all die off, who the hell's going to buy there? Who's going to even know about eBay.com?
Yep.
Basket Noodles is with us, and I guess we got a Blue Jays fan in the house, Pat Rose.
Pat Rose!
Nice to see you guys. Let's see. Basket Noodle at Rubuchan. Abrubuchan. Mike G says, I cut my sourcing down more than half this month. I had the lowest sales month of the year. Simply been selling my back stock to make extra profit. And that's our thing. Last 2 years, we kind of had that same problem. This year, the last 2 weeks, I haven't been listing as much on the main account. The sales are still ahead of last year. They haven't fallen off like I thought they would be falling off. And I think a big part of it is that I am doing every day, as soon as I pick the items that she needs to ship, I go in there and I do an end item sell similar for 10% of my store every day on both stores. And again, it's what they say. They say it's anecdotal, but I got to tell you, it's working for me. Some days, like there's been some days I couldn't even get my listings in. Now, if we're looking at our stats, like we share our numbers with you guys, so far this year, January 1st to October 31st, we're at 127,478 for the main account. That's not counting the second account. Up 6.4%, which is awesome because by this time in May, I was thinking we were going to be in the negative. We were going to be less than last year, but we're up. Quantity sold up 1.3%, and average sale price is up 5%. So, hey, anytime that you can be up over last year, then you're doing something right. So we're happy about that. And we always share that on the show to show you that we're not just here sharing BS with you guys. This stuff actually works for us. Derek W. Pat says it doesn't matter where that person comes from, before, after, or direct link that you gave somebody to your store. If you're promoting that item, you pay the fee.
Mm-hmm.
Mike G says, first time under 500 daily since last July.
Oh.
Darn it. Hit the like button, get started.
Yeah, hit the like.
Duncan says, John's been arguing with AI and Siri again. I do.
He does it every day.
It's like, okay, dummy. I call an AI a dummy, but sometimes it's really dumb. Callie Deb says, when you end and sell similar, your item is still promoted. It's been happening to me. I wouldn't doubt if that's the way eBay has it programmed, to be honest with you. But
really
there's no
shitty.
documentation that tells me that. Keith says, it's not all done on the item number. It's done in the content of the listing that eBay catalog indexes. So many attributes that contribute to that one listing.
Right, but if you're just completely taking it down and then putting it back up as I just don't.
But certain things,
it does not,
certain things within that
confused.
listing, though. So, but it will never consider that listing stale, even though you've ended and relisted it. It'll never consider. There's another word, I keep forgetting the name. Mike will probably bail me out, but there's another listing. Like one is for, I think, for 90 days. The other one is 6 months old. So if I do it every month, where I end and relist, and every item is getting that process, I will never have an item. Because I've seen the report, it says I have 0 items that are stale, and that's a good thing. And that's simply by doing that process. So is it selectively, like certain things it's tracking, connecting it to the old listing? I don't know, but it's not considering that a stale listing. Basket Noodle says, Swami Basket says, the Postal Service does more damage to volume vendors than revenues than eBay ever has. Yeah, because this is happening when you get a USPS increase in fees. It's happening to 100% of your items, versus this change is only going to affect if you're already promoting like 30% more of your items. In it to flip it, does anyone know where we can see eBay's stats as far as big sellers, small sellers, and how it converts to their overall numbers? Just curious about what John is saying. Yeah, I don't have their overall numbers. I was trying to go through Liz's article, and I just, before the show started, it kind of dawned on me that might be the why behind why this is all of a sudden happening versus not announced last week. at eBay Open. I mean, I'd like to think that eBay isn't just saving the good news for the events and the bad news to like under the rug. I'd like to give them benefit of the doubt. And this could be just a knee-jerk reaction to the financial report that came out in hopes that'll get people to say, but they're going to bring up the revenues through this process and maybe help, get their stocks back up. Can eBay afford to lose the small sellers because the big dogs are a huge proportion of their earnings? I don't think they can. I think the majority of the sellers are small-time sellers. They're not big dogs. Basket Noodles says 13.5% now. Final value fee actually is about 10% for eBay, as discount rate features are 2.5 to 3.5 nominal plus batch closure fee on every sale. Jerry Johnson's with us.
Hello, Jerry.
And Basket Noodle says eBay has to drop promoted. They cannot control external AI shopping, and that is losing them organic promoted revenues in big fashion, I'd say. Yeah. eBay is giving promoted organic high visibility and get zero in return due to AI shopping.
What is AI shopping?
It's when you have AI. I mean, you can have, right now, I can go to my comment browser and say, I'm looking for this item on, doesn't matter where it is, but this is what I'd like to pay, and it'll search all over the different sites
I just
for you.
go and do that right on Google.
Baskin says, over the holiday season, AI-assisted shopping is claimed to be up 520%.
AI
But we're not even
shopping?
really in the holiday shopping season yet. Yeah, we're kind of are, but we're not through it. That's interesting.
I mean, how many people actually do AI shopping? Who plugs in,
Some people
I
do.
am looking for a blue shirt that has white letters of eBay written on the front of it, into AI?
It can be done.
I don't know.
I would do it in comment, but I don't want it. I
don't want you
I
to
like
do
to control it on certain sites and tell it to only visit those sites, because those AI browsers, if they come across a nefarious site that gives it code to do instructions to do something else, like go into John's bank and log in for me and give me the information, and it can, if it has the information, I don't play with it that way. So
I just don't know that we're at that place yet.
Biff says eBay probably has a 5-year plan of fee hikes on the calendar. If not longer, none of this stuff happens on the fly. I don't know. I really do. See, you're giving eBay a lot of credit, but I can tell you that working in the corporate world, when it came to things, changes and implementations of things, many times there are things that were implemented that it was like weren't considered, the year before, but based on current things happening within the business. Baskin said, this isn't rocket science. Read what's happening in AI shopping, retail, online, e-commerce, supply chain. It's been sounded off in retail association and news for months and months on end. And then Henri Squaw says, Jamie sold off over $1 million in stock at the beginning of October. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, that should tell us
Probably knew it was
something.
insider trading.
Allegedly.
Randall Lee says, we do 3.1% on our high-ticket items to attract buyers to our store. We send 10% of coupons to repeat customers. Mm-hmm. All good strategies. Yeah. Sutter's Mill says eBay could expand into local in-person sales to boost users and listings. Features like local-only search, safety tools, and low fees could attract sellers, increase transactions, and grow revenue. So they do have the local sales feature. You can have your item set. Instead of shipping it, you're going to do a local sale. But they could say if you do a local sale transaction, we'll cut your fees in half. I mean, that's a good idea. We're going to give eBay ideas. That's the kind of idea I'd like to see. Mike G, not a good sign for eBay when the CEO sells off stock. Not at all. It's not good at all. In it to flip it says it's never a good sign when you're swearing at your AI. Admittedly, I've done it more than once. Yeah, there's times I will.
Oh, there are times.
And it's like, sorry, you're frustrated. No, yeah.
Yeah, John gets very, very mouthy with these talking back tools.
Randall says, I would tell the wife stories of growing up on a farm in western Wisconsin in the 70s. She would have 2 responses. We're never doing that to our kids. Never tell that story to the kids. Yeah.
There are many stories that our children will never hear. And there are some that are probably taken down or watered down just a notch.
Honorary Squad says, I have to wait until tomorrow so I don't get charged listing fees, and I have over 4,500 listings, so I only do a couple hundred at a time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 4,500.
Todd says, Gwen and I got McDonald's. We're here waiting, but we were waited on by Cleopatra and Bride of Chucky. They got a tip.
That's awesome.
As long as you're loving it. That's all that matters.
I do, even though we don't care for the Halloween celebration part of it, I do think it's rather cute to have the kids dressed up, and as long as they're not, gore and blood, and I can't appreciate any of that. But when my granddaughter or my niece shows up in a Lilo and Stitch outfit, or even a scarecrow, it's too cute.
Yes, Keith, you've been a great, great asset to the channel, so thank you so much for that.
He is a huge
Basket Noodle says,
asset.
The next big internet wave is coming to the smart TVs. My brother worked for a firm that does just that before he passed away. He was a lead Java engineer.
Oh, wow.
Mike G.
Internet wave is coming to TVs.
Mike G lives in a rural area. And Paul Rose says, happy Halloween, John, Jenna, and the FAE guys and ghouls. Haha. And to flip it, says, OMG, literally just LOL, drank out of a garden hose that smells like sulfur. Yep, out in the country every once in a while. Yeah, but if you're still thirsty enough, you're drinking that stuff.
Yeah. And at times you'll bathe in it.
Who did that?
There were times.
I never bathed in someone's garden hose.
When you're outside of your own
Maybe you're
house
getting
with
wet.
your own hose.
Not bathing, though. Bathing?
Okay, not bathing, but rinsing off because
Okay.
it's hot as hell outside.
Jerry says, not many kids stopping by, but it's okay. More bags of goldfish for me. So how many of you guys out there buy the stuff that you like, knowing that you're going to be left over with, versus buying the cheap stuff?
That's exactly what I would do if I were doing it.
John Rad Relic says, if eBay wants to raise fees, make an AI lister that works. For them, yeah, they need to. They could corner the market on the whole AI listing thing if they wanted to. Yeah. Andy Reno says, my driveway is 660 feet long. If I get trick-or-treaters, I'll give them $1.
Yeah.
Brady Bunch Biff says, you can write graffiti on windows with soap.
But it can be washed right off.
Lisa says, soaping windows in the Midwest, cars, doors, windows, ivory, 99.8% pure. I guess that was the whole purpose of it. Maybe the soap was to hit somebody.
We didn't do anything innocent like that. What we did is we took bologna, and in the heat of the summer, if you know anything about bologna, we didn't eat it, but we would throw it onto the cars, and it actually, if the people don't see that it's there, it can eat into the paint of the cars.
So Basket Noodle is saying, I have definitely saw eBay do money grabs all the way back to 95 when I began selling. This is not one of them. Anyone who reads on what's going on in commerce and AI plainly can see that. I'm not seeing that. So maybe I need some education on some stuff. But I guess that's a topic for another day. Lisa says, soaping was a trick. If they didn't give you a treat, then they had to wash their windows. That sucks.
Oh.
I guess they're going to be soaping us up here pretty good.
Okay. Well, we won't be here, so they.
Hello
can't.
to T-Bone. Even though you didn't say nothing,
No,
we.
he did.
Oh, did he? Okay. I apologize, T-Bone.
You're
I'm just not
supposed
there.
to call people out when they.
It's
because they made the wording wasn't right or spelling wasn't right, and they'll fix it down there. You don't call
Here it is.
people
There
out.
it is. T-Bone says, no trick-or-treaters over there. I had to get 30 pounds for tonight here in Henderson.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Henderson I can see because
Yeah.
there's a lot of families over there.
Yeah.
But,
There's families here.
we
but
have a few, but not... I know that people usually bring their kids to neighborhoods.
As Mike says, unless you have great items, ending promoted listings will kill your sales. Yeah. And the flip says, yes, Tech was talking about quitting 2-ish years ago in his group. He said he could see that we would need to pay more and more fees. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think we were talking about that years ago.
Yeah,
I think I talked about it.
It's always been a conversation.
Biff says 10% benefits the buyer, 10% promoted listing benefits eBay. I'd rather benefit my buyer and create a repeat customer. That is the difference. There's a nuance to the numbers. So 10% offer versus 10% promoted listings. Okay. CPR says, don't forget to hit the like button. 130 watching, only 30 likes?
Yes,
What's
let's
that?
go,
What's
people.
that? Only 30 people want to sail in the
there's
next
82 according to my thing. But still,
yeah.
get going, guys. Get your sails.
Let's see. Let's get to. We're kind of skipping a little bit, but
yeah, we got to do the. And we got to get going. It's 4:55.
Yes, I know. We're gonna get going here. When I was at Taco Bell, says Biff, we were unwrapped bean burrito and stuck it to a coworker's windshield. It was Halloween though.
Oh.
That was normal Taco Bell behavior in the 80s.
Eek.
That poor car probably had to go very shortly after that.
Ew.
We were eating at a restaurant and we looked across the way. There was somebody in a big bright orange shirt sitting inside of a Taco Bell. And I said, it could be worse, honey. We could be over there eating Taco Bell. Dressed as a pumpkin, so she got a crack out of that. Okay, so here's the deal.
Kevin, wait, Kevin's here.
Yeah, Kevin what? Kevin
Commonwealth.
Hawthorne. Where's Commonwealth?
Right there.
Silver Hair Stacker needs to call eBay and get all of his stuff fixed. Well, nice to see you, Kevin. Thanks for hanging out with us. Albeit that you're pretty late, but you're here nonetheless. So here's the deal. We're gonna give you a little ad spot for, and this is what I want you guys to do. While this is playing, give me a number between 1 and 300. The closest person to that number will get the hat and the shirt from Treecat. If there's a tie, it's the person that didn't go over, okay? And you can't select the same number because the first person to choose that number gets that number. And so we're going to go ahead and after we get back, we're going to run the random number for the winner. And we will play the Treecat promo, and we'll be right back. You hear us talk about Treecat a lot on this channel. And yes, it's a cross-listing tool. They support eBay, Mercari, Poshmark. They just added Whatnot. So many features, like how about the ability to end your items if it sells on another platform? How about scheduled relist? So, even eBay doesn't offer that, where you can schedule an item to relist every so many days, weeks, or whatever it is. How about the ability to have a library of your listings, where eBay only keeps your listing 90 days. Treecat will keep your listings and your photos indefinitely. So they're adding new features all the time. And the cool thing right now, guys, is between now and the end of October, if you use my code FAE, you will get 2 months for free. That's right, 2 months for free. The cool thing is, if you decide to stay with Treecat, which I think you will, you only pay as you sell. So if you don't make many sales, you're not going to pay much. There's no monthly fees. There's no sign-up fees or anything like that. But use my code FAE to get 2 months for free. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, darn it? Go and check it out. It's free. There's no obligation or anything like that. I think some people are like, well, I don't want to be obligated, but at the same time, it doesn't cost you anything. You're getting the service for free for 2 months, and you are also going to be entered into a drawing for a $100 gift card. And the list isn't large, I'll tell you that. So your chances of winning are pretty strong. And we'll be doing that sometime next week. So with that said, we're going to start drawing. I think Amazon seller is the last one, is the last number. And we're going to generate the number. Actually, we'll say Jackie Bleckner is the last number. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. And it is generating a number 130. 130. And so we're going to be going to figure that out. Jenna's going to try to figure that out, and we'll announce a winner here very soon. And a lot of you guys put in your numbers, so we'll see who that is. So let's see who else we got here. Todd says, Trick or Treat was big in the 60s. 250 kids visited our house every year for treats. All the while we were going out to get ours. Yes, I remember we would plan out where we're going to go based on who gave out the good stuff the year before. And we'd always plan out the neighborhoods and stuff like that. I just don't think it's a thing anymore. Keith says, in case you missed it, the 13th of November, I'm on a podcast with a YouTube channel called Car Boot Chris about the reasons I quit eBay. So as we get closer to that date, Keith, just make sure you bring that up again. Jen and I will be on Nurse Flipper's channel on November 11th. That's on a Tuesday. And so be sure to check out that as well. Baskin says, look at the future coming in e-commerce, not the present. Very important. But, you know, if you have some good suggestions for places to read up on that, I'd like to learn. That's for sure. I just don't know enough about it to make an informed decision about it. Biff says, I was wondering what was wrong with the person visiting the neighbor today. I forgot it was Halloween. The person was dressed as Michael Jackson. Just go up to him and go, hee hee. In it to flip it says, yes, I did basket, but I'm using my phone now, so the comments are taking longer to type. Yep. Use the voice recognition. Best way. Oh, we got Samantha Hunter. Says, happy Halloween, John and Jenna. Not in good spirits tonight, but have a good, safe night. Hope to hear from you Monday. Nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Well,
nice
we hope your spirits get lifted.
Did you figure out a winner?
Yeah. Kind of. Where did we leave off?
That we technically ended at Jackie, but I mean, I did see Lisa put hers before the number was run. It was technically run after that number was put. It was.
Okay.
I'm not just saying it. I was like thinking to myself, if that number comes up, then it's close. And I said we're going to end it at Jackie. What are we going to do?
She did it, I think, before the number popped up.
She did. She did.
Okay.
It was a legit number.
Okay.
I just kind of cut it. I was thinking that. See, like Graham Bates is a little late on that, but he wouldn't have won anyway.
Lisa, you
Dury.
are the winner.
Do me a favor, Lisa. Send me an email at flippinainteasy 2020 at gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat for you. And give me your size and your address, and I'll pass it on to eBay.
Don't say you don't need a prize. You won. So go ahead and send us an email with your size and your address.
It ain't that serious. You know, maybe we'll be a little more strict with things when we give away the $100 gift card for those who sign up using the promotion. That's coming out of my pocket, and I'm fine with it. It's cool. I'm glad.
What was the number last week?
I don't recall. I'm not that smart
or
to
Monday.
remember. I don't remember.
Well, I write them down, but your desk is
my desk is a
atrocious.
mess, and you guys don't get to see that mess.
No,
and that's the good
but
thing about
I
this
can tell
show.
you that it's atrocious.
So, nope, that wasn't the number last week. I know that for a fact. I think the number is like 2 something last week. It was a higher number last week. I know that. I know that much. I remember that much.
I try to keep them all on one page, and you.
So here's the deal, guys. We're gonna sneak the hell out of here because I
we
want to
gotta
get out of here
go.
before the kids start knocking.
I don't want to hear my doorbell ring.
Because the worst thing is, I mean, we got those wrapped. My cookies.
I mean, there's things I could give if that happened, but I'd rather not have to, like, dig into my snack jar.
I don't know. I would assume that Beard's doing a show. I mean, go over to Bearded Picker's channel. I mean, he didn't grace himself with his presence today. So
he didn't grace us
with his presence or himself with his presence.
He doesn't love us anymore.
I don't know what's going on with him. So look, I don't want to say that he's having a show if he's not even here. So go over and check it out.
He
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
already on because it is 5:03.
We're gonna be doing our thing and watching a chick flick. I can't wait. So
he's gonna have popcorn. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, pray for me. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Get the sales. You know, right now, look, we're entering November. Starting tomorrow, it's November.
It's officially holiday season.
Get your stuff up, guys. It's time to get those sales. So
Christmas decor will commence this year.
Yes. So until then, have a great day, and figuring out whether or not you're going to need to promote or what strategy you're going to use come January 13. It's yet another example of how flipping ain't easy, and hopefully you can figure that out. But in the meantime,
we love you. We hope you have a great weekend.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Your side.
You can do it!